Well, guys and girls and fellow human beings, it's been a while since I filmed, and some of you may thought I've forgotten you. I've been busy trying to catch up with the YouTube vids that I watch, and life has been quite busy of late. Due to the hot weather, work's been very busy. I come home and I feel rather tired. But now, got back into the woods today. There's little Alfie, the foraging hound, peeing up a tree, as he often does. Just off for a little explore, see what I can find in these woods, and some more later. We've had a pretty good time lately on various aspects, and well, life's been pretty good in general, just been very busy of late and very tired. So guys, without further ado, I'm going to shut this down for a second or two. I'm going to have a wander, and then later on we'll see what we can do as regards a chat and what have you. Bye. Well guys, there we go. Blackberries are ripening off. Just had a couple and they are quite sweet. Well, there's some little dicky ducks on there. Not a bad looking lake actually. Suffered a bit during the hot weather. We had to put a air pump in it to oxygenate the water because it's quite shallow. Apparently there's about 9 foot of silt at the bottom. But I've got a funny feeling that this lake might disappear if a proposed development goes on about a kilometre or so away from here. It'll drop. There's a possibility it's going to drop the water table, and of course, if the water table drops, the only spring that feeds this could possibly dry up, and then bang, no lake. Some fungi here guys, I'm not sure what sort. I might have a look, well, hopefully I'm going to try and see what I've got in my identification book back home without these. There we go. Taking a few still shots. This looks like an old piece of chestnut. Anyway guys, there you go. The fungi are starting to fruit at last. I'm looking around here guys, this, as you know, and as I've probably mentioned many times in the past, is overstood coppice. Each one of these trees, whether it's a sycamore or a sweet chestnut, has got a crown at the bottom, as you can see, and springs up. Now if we was to cut this back, some hazel through there as well, if we was to cut this back and use it as a crop, it would be beautiful next spring when the plants that are lying dormant waiting for the canopy to clear so they can germinate and give us a blaze of woodland glory. But talking to the powers that be, they think I'm talking out of my arse. But here we go. I mean, it's beautiful round here. Still haven't found any fungi yet. Shall have a wander. There's Alfie there. Looking at me. I've got tripe in my pocket and I think he'll be after some of that in a minute. But yeah, it's surprising how much there is here. It's just allowed to lay dormant. People think they can manage woodland, but they don't really look at it as a manageable crop. There's a nice little holly stand here, and someone's been playing with their saw again. I'll come down there. That's rather nice here. It's a very pleasant day. It's overcast and it's cool. Oh, I can see why. Someone's been trying to make a cavern, a cave, a type of shelter, and failed miserably. Yeah, more on that in a bit. Well guys, I've been trying to put a name to this flower for a long time, and it's a rather diminutive white flower, but it's got a beautiful name. It's called Enchanter's Nightshade. It is poisonous, but it crops up all over this place and looks rather pretty in a woodlandy sort of way. Hi guys, welcome to the woods. Just grab my tea. Yeah. Road testing for the second time. This new string hammock I got packs up very small. I wouldn't use it for general camping as for sleeping in, but it's great for sitting in and storing gear. And obviously I can lay back into it and have a little doze when I'm out on the woods on a day like today. Of course, it's been a while, hasn't it? You know, I've been busy, as I said earlier. Mostly work. Work has been extremely busy, which I'm glad to say is good. Yeah, I like it when it's busy. I enjoy my job. I'm one of the few people in the world that enjoys going to work, because I enjoy the job I do. I enjoy the job I do where I'm at. Cool, what's been happening in my little world? Well, a couple of weeks time I'll be taking my good lady as my wife. She'll become Mrs. Avalon Tampsit. I'm quite looking forward to that. Quite excited really. Can't show the excitement, you know. Don't want to become a wedding diva. Be a very quiet affair. Just very close family. Next year we're going to have a bigger do. But other than that, in the sort of bushcrafting world, next month I'm off to Scotland on my Scottish trip, and that'll be a week's coastal foraging, which I'm looking forward to immensely. It's always, last trip up there was very, very good. I'm looking to doing a solo trip up to Scotland next year, not sure where yet. Might be where we go on the coastal forager. It could be further inland, could be a place like Aviemore, which is quite easy to get to the Cairngorms from there, and a few other things I'm going to do. I had a friend pop round, a chap I met a couple of courses ago, a couple of years back. We've kept in contact through Facebook and what have you, and he was doing a Woodlaw course, because Woodlaw is literally just down the road from me. It really is. I mean, what, it's 6-7 miles, if that, you know, so it's right on my doorstep. And he's doing a course with them, and he popped round and said hello. We had a really, really nice chat, caught up on a few things, and it was very, very good, very, very enjoyable. And I'd like to say thank you, Darren, for the cherries, and Avalon says thank you for the flowers, as you probably already know. I could have done the course at 20% off, but unfortunately the Weld and his wife seems to be on holiday at work at the moment. But other than that, I'm just trying to think what else I've been up to. Yeah, I read Jack Hargreaves' first book, Out of Town. Very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Also, I would say he was the original bushcrafter in a way. You know, the original outdoors man on TV. Long before guys like Mr. Grills, Ramiers, Les Stroud, he was doing it. But he was doing it from a perspective of being from the farming perspective. Great book to read, and some funny bits in it. But that covers from the period from when his parents got married, basically up until about 1929, 1930. It's like quite an interesting read. Very disappointed with one of my heroes, Mr. Mears. I was going to sign up for the birch bark, but it crossed my mind when I first heard that they were doing a birch bark canoe building course. What put me off was actually the price. I mean, it was £2,000. Woodsmoke do a similar course, and that's 1,500 quid. What actually shook me, and I felt quite annoyed by this, that each participant paid £2,000. So you had basically, I think it was 10 participants altogether, it might have been 8. So you're looking at between 18 to £20,000, and you get to build one canoe between 8 and 10 of you. A lot of money for one canoe, and I was very disappointed in it, really, because, you know, if I was going to cop up that much money, I would expect to walk away with my own canoe. If Woodsmoke ever do their kayak building course, skin on frame, which was £1,500 for 10 days, you get to take home your own kayak. And there is another company called Orca Canoes that charge about £450. Ben Orford's done one, and he's a guy that doesn't suffer fools gladly. He's not easily led. Anyway, you know, apart from that, yeah, I'm just slowly weaving my way back into it. I've had a bit of a break. I took a chap who I work with, he's a security guard at work, and I took him around these woods and up to where they're going to build. Later on in the video I will show you this. I've shown you this site before, but now there's a potential of the site being built on. I have personal reasons for it not to be built on. Basically it's wildlife bent, but it's very good. Hound is doing well, he's fast asleep down in the corner there. But yeah, I was going to try and get a gathering together, but this year's been a bit of a weird year for me. I've had some, as some of you may know, I've had a bit of loss. My eldest of my 3 sisters passed away earlier this year. My middle sister had a bit of a fright as far as the big C goes. She's got through that, she's over that now. And as I say, in a couple of weeks' time I'm to be married. For the first time, I got to 56 and never got married. Some people ask me why. To be quite honest, out of all the people I've ever known in the past, out of all the ladies, none I've ever really wanted to marry. They were great ships in the night in many respects. My only regret is I never met Avalon many years ago. Life would have been totally different for me. May have gone into business with her dad as a woodsman, who knows. I want to, next year, my year sort of runs from the beginning of November, and I want to do in the forthcoming year, I want to try and get out a bit more. I did promise myself this year, I want to get out a bit more, do more wildlife spotting. I've got a half decent stills camera now. Do more woodcrafty stuff. I would love to find a piece of woodland that I could actually manage slightly, you know, go and extract some timber from it. I've got on mind to pull a bit out of here because I need to make a fence. Oh, the leg's healed up okay. I've got a tiny little scar there now, and next time when I text my lady and I'm on an axe course, I must point out to her that if I've cut myself with the axe or not, because all I put down was when I was lying in hospital was cut my leg in hospital. And of course Avalon thought the worst and I put an axe in my leg, but it's only just the point of a knife. It was pretty bloody anyway. But I'm finally finishing my wooden cup. I'm just on the sanding process now, and I'm back into making bits of jewellery. I'm just going to concentrate on doing earrings and pendants. I've got some sheet silver indoors that I'm going to try and work into pieces, and some PMC clay. And keep an eye on this place because you never know what might pop up. The items will be between £2.50 and £20, depending on the complexity and whether I've had to use certain materials, and also, yeah, obviously the complexity. But it's great. received another knife from a friend called Adam Savage. It's a good little knife. I've got it right here. I've been using it this morning. It's the Wood Bee. It's got hawthorn scales. It's been a knife. I wanted a knife with hawthorn scales on it. It's a nice little knife, slightly shorter blade than my other knife, and it's the last knife I'm going to purchase. I don't need any more knives. I've got too many fixed blade knives. I'm not a knife junkie as such. Some that I've been given and I've acquired, and some that I've had to pay for. But the knives are good, and each will serve its purpose. The Mora knives I have are quite a thin blade, and they're great for carving with. I did pick up some carving tools on the axe course, and they're working very well. But other than that, it's just great. It's great to be outside, you know. It's wonderful. I'm just in my usual spot. I'm going to have another wander in a bit, go up round the back, and I'm just enjoying life. We all think I want to do a bit more outdoors cooking. Again, I'm not making any more hobo stoves. I want to concentrate on cooking on open fires and using my fire pit. Maybe get some barbecue briquettes, you know, charcoal, and have a bit of a cook up in the backyard. Going to do a little bit more backyard bushcraft in the future. A lot of the stuff that we call bushcraft can be done in the backyard. You've got to think backwoodsman, and it is great. Oh, talking about backwoodsman, I've now got all 3 Dick Pronecki films, and they are pucker. They are really, really good. I mean, I've had the first one for quite a while, but I didn't have number 2 and number 3, and they are really good. The guy was a genius. The guy was a god, really. I mean, just to go out and sit up in the backwoods in Canada and film. Oh, on that respect, go and look up Paul Kirtley's blog. There's a very, very good piece on packing a rucksack, a 45 litre rucksack with side pouches. Very, very good video on that one. And also, in there somewhere there's his take on bushcraft, and he says, as he says, it's not all about gear. It's getting out there and looking at the wildlife, studying what's around you, utilising the materials around you. You know, it's okay going to your local camping shop, going to Runny Sunshines or Cotswolds, local military surplus shop, buying all the kit that you ever need and taking it out. But half the time you don't need it. All you really need for a night in the woods is a blanket, a billy can, some tea bags, and a cup, and obviously a water or a place to source water, and that's about it really. You know, once you get your fire going, you can kick back, snuggle up under the blanket, pull the blanket around you. Provided it's a good day like this. I mean, if you expect rain, I mean, weather in the UK is pretty suspect at times. I mean, we've had a really long hot spell. It's slowly coming to the end, thankfully. There's another reason why I didn't get up. But utilising the weather, keeping an eye on the weather, means you can go out with very minimal gear and enjoy what's around you. In many respects, the 2 most important tools in bushcraft are binoculars and a camera. Because with a camera you can photograph what you see, and with binoculars you can bring it into focus. You know, you can surround yourself with any amount of kit, but it's getting out and enjoying the woods. For many it's just a beer fest. That's for them. For me, it's being here now. I'm in the middle of predominantly Scots pine here. I've never seen any cauliflower fungus, which is a shame because I quite like that. It makes a very good cauliflower cheese. And on the fungus front, not much at the moment, as I mentioned earlier. I've had some chicken in the woods this year, but not a lot of that have been around. Sometimes it's the effort of getting out and hunting. Again, it's carrying lightweight gear. I mean, at the moment I've got a little bit too much, but then I've got both my cameras, I've got a set of binoculars, plus I've got some Dudemaker's loops for looking at small stuff. It's great. Anyway, guys, I've burbled on enough. It's nice to be speaking to you all. There's not a lot to say really. I'm going to slurp a bit more of this tea. I'm going to cut that off about there. I'm busy making a butter spreader. Sweet chestnut. Oh, by the look of it, we're going for a very, very good year. Avalon's already started the jam making. We've got some cherry jam indoors. I picked up a load of blueberries from work, cheap. We've got some blueberry jam. I've got blackcurrant jam. There'll be more on that later, I suppose. Not in this video, but in future videos I might concentrate on a little bit more foraging. Just over that way, behind the camera, down the hill a bit, and I'm taking a couple of stills of it. A rowan has almost got ripe fruit on it, and there looks like there's going to be an abundance of crabapple and elderberries. I haven't made any elderflower champagne this year. I waited until the elderberries come up because I want to make a lot of juice down, either as sauce, either as jams or cordials, and just plain sauce. And obviously I'm going to try and make a jelly as well. Rather than make a jam, I'm going to boil the fruit up, let it juice up, strain it through my sleeping bag, stuff sack. I've got a big mesh stuff sack. Get all the pits and that out of it, and see if I can make a jelly. Damn fine flavour as well. Anyway guys, I shall bid you adieu. There might be a bit more following on after this because I want to go for a wander after I've had a bit of a carb and sit down. Maybe do some more to the camera over the back now. I've just burbled on and on and on like I normally do. I can be very taciturn at sometimes. Anyway guys, see you later. There we go guys, a deer. Just think you're going to build on this, you're going to miss that sort of stuff. There we go, Dendara. You want to destroy this. Pox upon you. Yeah, nice little deer feeding. Zoom back out. Doggy, will you bloody control yourself?